The Last of Us Season 2 has just premiered, and there are already many changes between the show and the second game. For those who have played the game, or those who haven't and are just curious, here's an in-depth comparison between Season 2's premiere and the game it's from. This video will have no spoilers apart from what was already covered in the show from the game. First off, let's compare the characters from how they appear in the game to how they appear in the show. First there's Dina, Jesse, Abby, Mel, Owen, Nora, Manny, and Seth. The first scene with Abby's introduction is completely original to the show. Although we do get to see her perspective of the hospital in-game, we never see her by the graves. When she's introduced into the game, she was already hiking to Jackson, and we are not made aware of her motives for doing so. Ellie's fight with the big guy is completely unique to the show. This is because the show takes place a day before the game does, with the game opening the morning after the festival dance. Jumping to the scene of Tommy and Ellie hunting for clickers, this scene is also unique to the show, but elements were taken from a flashback that happens mid-game. This flashback takes place 2 years before it does in the show, and is only partially similar to the whole scene. Joel going to therapy is unique to the show, along with the therapist character, although her husband Eugene is actually mentioned in the game, though never shown, as he died of a stroke, whereas the show looks like it'll be changing that, as the therapist mentions that Joel killed him instead. The game has Jesse finding Ellie to get her to go on patrol instead of Dina, and it has Ellie and Dina going on patrol the day after the festival instead of the day of. Also in the game, Ellie and Dina just go on a patrol by themselves, whereas in the show they go in a group of 5. The store that they wind up entering is also the same store that they enter in the game, right down to the dog employee of the month that they find. They also show Ellie working at a workbench, and her throwing a bottle later on, which are both references to mechanics in The Last of Us Part 2 game. While in the store, the show introduces a new variant of infected called Stalkers. These Stalkers have actually been around since the first game, and should have been around in the Season 1 of the show, but it seems that they have been omitted for some reason, which will probably be explained later in the season. They also show the Council of Leadership in Jackson, which is never shown in the game. Joel talking to Ellie about her guitar in the garage seems to have similarities to a different scene in the game that takes place 4 years prior, similar to the Tommy flashback mentioned earlier. Outside the festival, we see kids playing and pretending to be clickers, which actually happens in a deleted level of the game. The whole festival dance scene pretty much plays out the exact same as the game, pretty much beat for beat, although Joel does shove Seth a lot harder in the show than in the game. When it shows Joel on the porch with his guitar, this is actually a prelude to something that happens much later on in the game. And yes, people who've played the game, I'm sure that scene is still happening. The infected pipelines seem to be a new storyline that's taking place exclusively for the show. And finally, the episode ends with Abby about in the same place as she was in the game during this time, with finding Jackson. Overall, this episode was pretty good, though much slower than I was expecting. I like the extended view of Jackson, as we didn't get to see much of it, the day-to-day of it during the opening of the game. I hope you're all ready for the next episode, as I'm pretty sure we all know what's happening. Thanks for watching, I really appreciate it, and have a great day.